In this video, I'll be giving my final predictions for the AFC records, AFC standings. And then after, I'll go through each one of these teams to tell you how they ended up, in which place they ended up. So, starting out at number 10, at one point they were winning the division for like the first 7 or 8 weeks. But I feel like they will have a total collapse, which is typical of them, by the way. They will have a total collapse at the end of the season. I have them losing their last 5 games in a row because they have a murderer's row of opponents. Their last 5 games have to be the most. They probably have the hardest schedule finishing the season. They have to play the Colts, the Eagles, the Chiefs, the Broncos, the Cowboys, and the Texans. I have them losing all 5 of those games. So with that being said, finishing 8 and 9, I have the Los Angeles Chargers. No disrespect, I didn't even bother to put their picture on the thing because it's no. All right, at number 9, they had an up and down season. They started out slow. They had a great defense. You could argue an all-time great defense. One of the best defense, if not the best defense in the league, but they're going to come up short. I have finishing 9 and 8, the Houston Texans. Now, number 8, I don't know. It's been it's been 12, 15 years since they've had playoff success, since they've done anything. I don't know how much longer they're going to give him, but at number 8, and they were winning division most of this year. But at 9 and 8, finishing in 8th place, I have the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now we get into the playoff teams. This one is probably going to be the most dangerous team in the playoffs. And I'm going to be honest with you, I'm ready for it. At the number 7 seed, finishing 11 and 6. They run the table. They win their last 6 games. I have the Kansas City Chiefs finishing 11 and 6. At the number 6 spot, they've had an up and down season. That game against Miami didn't help them at all. They played Tampa Bay. They were a juggernaut going up and down, up and down, up and down. At number 6, I have the Buffalo Bills in the 6th spot. At number 5, and I'm going to be honest, I'm going to be totally honest with you. Me, like a lot of other people, were laughing when that coach stood up at that press conference before the season started, when he got hired, and he looked dead into that camera, and he made that look on his face, and he said, Duval. And we all was laughing at him. But look at him now. Jacksonville. Is he going to be 11 and 6, finishing in that 5th spot? At the top, now the top 4, coming back from the depths of the sea, from being dead. At one point, nobody even thought they would make the playoffs. But they have their quarterback back now, and the Baltimore Ravens will win the AFC North, finishing 11 and 6. At number 3, this team was leading the league, had the best record for the first 10 weeks, 12 weeks or something like that. But now they've started to come back down to earth, and they're going to finish 12 and 5, but they'll win the AFC South. I have the Indianapolis Colts. Now, the last 2 teams are both going to finish 14 and 3, but it's going to end up coming down to the division record. So at the number 2 spot, I have my Denver Broncos, because I feel like the Broncos are going to lose one more game, and that's going to be to the Kansas City Chiefs, the second to last game of the season, which would make the Broncos division record 4 and 2. I have the Patriots also losing one more game against the Ravens, But the Ravens and the Patriots aren't in the same division. So the Patriots will finish 6-0 in their division while the Broncos finish 4-2, giving the Patriots the number 1 seed. The reason why I said earlier that I was ready is because if the Chiefs get the 7 seed and the Broncos get the 2 seed, the Broncos and the Chiefs will play each other for the 3rd time this season, and this time it will be in Denver again. And if we remember, the Broncos just beat the Chiefs in Denver 2 weeks ago. So I'm ready. I'm ready for that. To me, those are the best playoff games when divisional rivals play in the playoffs. Because I remember those Steelers-Ravens games, those Cowboy-Eagle games. So I'm ready. I'm ready for the Broncos and the Chiefs to play again in the playoffs. But now I'm going to go through each team individual record for the remaining season, their schedule, and to show you how I made my decision of how many wins and losses they'll have. So here's the Chargers' remaining schedule. Raiders, Eagles, Chiefs, Cowboys, Texans, Broncos. This is how they'll do. They'll beat the Raiders, lose to the Eagles at home, go to the Chiefs and lose, go to the Cowboys and lose at home to the Texans defense, and they'll go to the Broncos and lose, and they'll finish 8-9. The Chargers' offensive line is not good. I don't know if Justin Herbert will make it through the rest of the season because it looked like he got hurt the last game against Jacksonville. I remember, what was that, last year against the Broncos or the year before when he broke his wrist or something like that against the Broncos. So, now, it couldn't have been last year because they made the playoffs last year. So it was the year before last. So that's how I see the Chargers finishing their season. Here's the schedule for the Texans: Colts, Chiefs, Cardinals, Raiders, Chargers, Colts again. The Raiders, I feel like they're going to finish 3-3. They lose to the Colts both times. They lose to the Chiefs. They beat the Cardinals, Raiders, and they beat the Chargers. Again, an all-time great defense was wasted with a trash offense. As a Bronco fan, I know all about that. The Broncos have had great defenses only to be messed up by trash offensive play. Hopefully our offense doesn't let us down this year, even though they be struggling sometimes. But even the year the Broncos won the Super Bowl, the offense was struggling and the defense was all-time great. But hopefully the Texans can get their offense going next year. But this is how the Texans season ends, I believe. Here's the Steelers' remaining schedule: Bills, Ravens, Dolphins, Lions, Browns, Ravens. So I think they're going to split with the Ravens. They're going to lose to the Bills. The Steelers are just up and down, up and down. They're going to lose to the Lions. They'll beat the Dolphins, Browns, and like I said, Ravens. But Mike Tomlin, I don't know how much longer they're going to give Mike Tomlin. I'm not saying that he should be fired. All I'm saying is the Steelers haven't really had any playoff success since like 2012 or something, maybe 11, something like that. Like the Steelers have been struggling these last like almost 10 years, you could say. Like they don't make we're used to the Steelers making deep playoff runs, which they haven't done in a very long time. So the Steelers are going to need a quarterback because Aaron Rodgers is about to be like 42, I think. So they need to go out and get somebody to above average quarterback. That's the only way they're going to succeed. But that's how I see the Steelers season ending up. Now we get to the Chiefs. This is the Chiefs' remaining schedule: Cowboys, Texans, Chargers, Titans, Broncos, Raiders. The Chiefs will lose on Thursday night, Thanksgiving, to the Cowboys in Dallas. But after that, they run the table. They beat the Texans, the Chargers, the Titans. I said at the beginning of the year the Broncos would lose in Kansas City, and then they end the season by beating the Raiders, and the Chiefs come back, and they make it to the playoffs with the 7th seed. And like I said, I feel like it's going to be the Broncos and the Chiefs in the wild card round, and hopefully the Broncos can get it done, because you can't beat a champ until you knock out the champ. Yeah, you may win the AFC West, but until you show the world that you can beat Kansas City in a big game, in a meaningful game, nobody gonna give you any credit. So that's how the Chiefs season turns out for them before the playoffs. Buffalo Bills schedule: they have the Steelers, Bengals, Patriots, Browns, Eagles, and Jets. I feel like the Bills will go 4-2, losing to the Patriots and the Eagles, but they beat the Steelers, beat the Bengals, beat the Browns, and beat the Jets. The Bills have been so unpredictable this season. One game you have Josh Allen scoring 6 touchdowns. Next game against the Texans, he gets sacked 8 times. It's really just Josh Allen out there. That's really like, it's really him. Like his receivers, Shakur, and I don't even know. Well, Gabe Davis, like Coleman, like they're just all over the place. They're too inconsistent. Now the Bills did beat the Broncos last year in the playoff, 31-7. I don't think that's the same Bills team this year. This Bills team, it's either Josh Allen have a great game and they win, or he have a good game and they lose. Because it's really just Josh Allen at this point. The Jaguars remain in schedule.
Duval.
Titans, Colts, Jets, Broncos, Colts, Titans. So I got them splitting with the Colts. They beat the Titans, and they play the Titans twice. The Titans were like 1-10 or something like that right now. They beat the Jets. So the Jacksonville Jaguars actually have an easy schedule other than the Colts and the Broncos. I don't think, as a Bronco fan, I'm glad we got them in Denver. Because like the last few times the Broncos have played Jacksonville, they've lost. But at least we don't have to go to Jacksonville. But like I said, I don't think anybody was really expecting Jacksonville to be that good this year. But they'll finish 11-6 and get the 5th seed, I believe. And that's how their season will end up. The Baltimore Ravens have the Bengals, Patriots, Packers, Steelers. I feel like they win 5 out of those 6 games. They'll split with the Steelers and to take the division. But really, Steelers going to end up like 9-8 anyway. But the Ravens came back from like 3-5 or 2-4, something like that, when Lamar Jackson got hurt. And now that Lamar Jackson's back, I doubt they'll still do anything in the playoffs, because we know what the Ravens do when they get in the playoffs. They either lose to Buffalo or they lose to Kansas City, which they may not even see Buffalo or Kansas City this year, so maybe they have a chance. Well, now I take that back. Well, the Ravens will be number 3, and number 6 will be Buffalo, so they'll play Buffalo the first game, and they already lost to Buffalo on a crazy game where Buffalo had to come all the way back. So, hey, you never know. But this is how the Ravens season ends up. Now you got the Colts, who started out good. They got the Texans twice. They got the Jaguars twice. And they got the Seahawks. I see them beating the Texans both times. The Texans offense is just trash. They split with Jacksonville and they lose to the Seahawks in Seattle. So they finished winning the division at 12-5, 1 game above Jacksonville. But the Colts, they get into the playoffs, they may make some noise. Jonathan Taylor, Daniel Jones has been playing well this year. So you never know. Colts had the best record like the first 10, 11 weeks of the season. But now they're going to finish 12-5. And now we get to my Broncos. We have the Commanders, Raiders, Packers, Jaguars, Chiefs, Chargers. I feel like the only game we'll lose out of those 6 will be against the Chiefs. The Commanders still don't have Jaden Daniels. The Raiders are the Raiders. The Packers go up and down every game. Jacksonville is the one that may worry me, because Jacksonville, but again, we're playing them in Denver instead. If it was in Jacksonville, I may have picked the Jaguars. But since it's in Denver, I'll give us that shot. Like I said, we're probably going to lose to the Chiefs in Kansas City. Now, the Chargers, I feel by this point, the Chargers just be so done after playing the Chiefs and the Cowboys and the Texans and the Colts and the Eagles. I just feel like the Chargers will be so defeated at this point. And it's in Denver, too. I feel like the Broncos will beat the Chargers that last game of the season to finish 14-3, where they'll end up tied with the New England Patriots for the number 1 seed. Speaking of the Patriots have the Giants, the Bills, the Ravens, the Jets, and the Dolphins. So they got a pretty easy schedule finishing out the year. I think they lose to the Ravens in Baltimore, but other than that, the Patriots beat the rest of these 5 teams. You got division games with the Jets, Bills, and Dolphins. They already beat the Bills in Buffalo, so I feel like they'll beat them again in New England. Jets and the Dolphins that's just, ugh. That's a win. And then you got the Giants, who sometimes play hard, but I don't think the Giants will beat the Patriots. This is the Super Bowl. You don't have Eli Manning in that defense. So I have the Patriots tying with the Broncos, finishing 14-3, but the Patriots will have a 6-0 division record, and the Broncos will have a 4-2, giving the Patriots the tiebreaker in that instance. So that is how I see the rest of the AFC season panning out. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Subscribe to the channel, like and comment. More videos coming soon. Trey T out. Peace.